Hello and welcome back to Spotlight Games Podcast for episode 186. We are JakeDumpin. One part the dumpster boy, one part JakeTwitchin. The ultimate being brought together by both nothing but piss, vinegar, and a love of video games and jiggle physics. Jake. Patrick is letting me host again. This is the first time of a Jake dumping episode that I'm hosting. Normally you take the reins on these episodes, but I was like, you know what? I think I want to do it this time. I think I want to be the one that leads the show and get it spicy on my own terms. How are you feeling tonight, Jake? Thanks for being here with me.
I'm so glad to be here. I'm feeling fantastic. I am ready to be the other half of JakeDumpin, as I perpetually am. But it's really nice to be on the receiving end, you know? I'm bottoming this JakeDumpin this time.
You can bottom for me anytime, baby. Like this episode is gonna be so intense. It's gonna be so intense. There's so many things that are gonna be happening in this episode. I'm worried that if we stick around too long and capitulate, that the episode will never get off the ground. That it will be like that one time you and Patrick did that Hades episode. That I'm pretty sure only like a quarter of the episode was actually talking about Hades. I think the other half was you guys just kind of like tonguing each other's ears and such.
Yeah, and then I think only a quarter of the audience watched it as well.
A whole series based around Hades 2. Well, let's dive into ours because I have a feeling that there's going to be quite a bit of nonsense coming up. And that being said, we have a whole lot of video game stuff to talk about because this is the Spotlight Games podcast, where each week we spotlight the latest and the greatest in the world of video games. You can get it by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Spotlight Games Pod, or by searching for Spotlight Games in your favorite podcast app. And hey, you can be on the show by tuning in as we record live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Spotlight Games Pod. So be sure to follow us there so that you're notified when we go live. There's probably something else there that's like, smash that subscribe button, cut punt that like button, slam that sweetheart.
Correct.
Housekeeping. Monday, yesterday, or a couple days ago from the time that this episode was live on podcast streaming services everywhere. You, Jake, did a live stream through Dido, as well as JK Games, for Marvel Cosmic Invasion, a game that I'm very excited to talk about, a game that you will be talking about later in this show, giving your first impressions. That is now up on YouTube. So if you want to go see them play live, they are going to be listed there. It's going to be a good time. I think later in this week, I think Cog is going to be doing a live stream of Metroid Prime 4. Is that going to be on Friday? It's going to be on Friday.
Yeah, I think we're pretty dense. I think he's Friday and then Saturday up a bonus episode. Maybe I want to say. I'm not positive about that. Don't quote me.
Hey,
I just work here.
Fun things happen in the Dido Spotlight, JK Games, JakeTwitchin, and Cognitive, and all of the nips, clips, and lips and shits. All that good stuff. We're just cranking our hogs and cranking out content, is what they say in the industry. Finally, join the Dido Discord. We have a Discord for all folks. So drop in, drop out community, whether it's if you're part of the Spotlight Games, JK Games, Clickerbait, Cognitive Eclipse, JakeTwitchin, or if you're just a fan of your very own dumpster boy and or the chaos that is JakeDumpin, come to the Discord. You can go to dropindropoutpod.com. You can find that there. That'll take you there, and you'll just bop around, all this good stuff. Let's talk about tonight's episode, Jake. Tonight, we are going to be discussing a review roundup of the ultra hype Metroid Prime 4, Geoff's Obelisk and whether or not we can fuck it, and seeing if our very own JakeTwitchin can accurately guess the top 100 games of all time as listed by the Spotlight Games community.
What the fuck?
What we know is scientifically that this is the most accurate list based on our audience. what they think is the greatest game of all time. It is, the list is, I'll say it lightly, got us in a lot of trouble with a lot of people. Did Barbie's Summer Sports Jamboree make it? Can't remember what the name of that game is. I think it did make it in the top in the 90s. It was in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
Barbie game cracked the top 100.
As it should.
There's going to be chaos afoot later in this episode. You're going to want to stick around for that. But before we get there, what we've been playing, I'm going to start us off, Jake.
Yeah, please.
I've got 2 Dumpster Boys Platinum reviews for you. I'm gonna throw them at you real fast.
A 2-time.
2. I got a double feature for you. Do you want to start first with Power Wash Simulator 2, or do you want to start with the good game? Thank goodness you're here.
Interesting. Give me Power Wash. It's a known quantity.
Power Wash. Okay. Power Wash Simulator 2 is just a better version of Power Wash Simulator 1.
Right.
That's got the story, I think, is a little bit more digestible. It's a little easier to follow this time around, but doesn't beat you over the head. So like you'll never know it's there if you don't look for it. But also when you do find it, it's very easy to follow along, which I think is a good hit. I think the levels are much better. I think they're way more expansive, way more involved. So great game there. But this is not a review of the game. We know the game's great.
Sure.
Question is, how is the platinum? How is 100%ing the game? Absolutely pitch perfect trophy list. Potentially one of the best trophy lists, personally, that I've had the luxury of doing a platinum run for. It took me about 35 to 40 hours for the platinum. But dude, you pull up Spotify and you just put on like your chill lo-fi playlist. Just power wash some shit with my wife sitting next to me. It's a great time.
Huh.
The platinum itself is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Nothing super complicated, but makes you do levels in certain ways and do little goofy things. I think elevates it. It's not just like a collect all this bullshit like a Ubisoft game. I like that. That's what I want out of these types of games.
Did you platinum the first Power Wash sim?
No. So the problem is the first Power Wash Simulator was actually glitched. So you couldn't get the platinum trophy until like the last few months. They finally patched it where you could get it, and my wife actually has it. She went and did all of the trophies up to the challenges, and when I found out it was like glitched, I was like, I'm not fucking doing that shit. She went ahead and did it all, then just logged in, hit a button, and then got the platinum trophy. My wife.
That's pretty impressive. Here's my question for you, is because I have a little bit of Power Wash 1 history. Do you like the game enough now that the platinum is already done? Will you revisit it for DLC just to get some more power washing in, or are you pretty good?
I've already been. I'm in the middle of helping my wife get the platinum on her side.
Oh, you're in.
Oh yeah, no, I'm like DLC drops. It's a must buy. It's a play. We played through all the mucking
DLC.
We didn't do the Shrek DLC. We did do all of the Muckingham files, and we did like the Lara Croft Manor and a bunch of that stuff. SpongeBob, we did the SpongeBob one. Didn't do Shrek. I should go back and do Shrek. I want to go back and actually get the platinum. However, I will say there's a couple quality of life features that they added to Power Wash Simulator 2 that I'm like, it's just like there's a nozzle in particular that you can purchase on each one that lets you like adjust to the specific amount you want it to be pressure wise. And so you can get like the perfect power wash without having to adjust for like areas at a time. Makes it so much easier. Soap distribution as well as another like no brainer of things that they did right. The game did many things correct that I think are better. So I don't know. It might be hard going back, but that's not saying I won't. Give me enough time and my willingness to get platinums. I'll probably.
Yeah, fair.
I'm gonna go one more. I want you to talk, and I'm tired of talking because I just talked a lot. But let me get this one out of the way. I did not like this game, and that is thank goodness you're here.
Huh.
I found that it was funny at times, but I don't think it was funny enough for me to justify spending even like the 2 hours roughly to beat the game the first time. No, it was worth it to beat the game the first time, and it's on PlayStation Plus right now. So like, you should play it. I guess it maybe is funnier if you're from Britain or that specific area, because I think a lot of the jokes are inside jokes.
Right.
But like the novelty of the game is quite boring. Just slapping things, and sometimes things react to you and sometimes they don't. It's like, okay. And then like there's no chapter select. So when trying to get the platinum, unless you follow a guide for the first time, you have to play it a second. But the other problem is if you maybe move too fast, you can lock yourself out of things. But once again, there's no chapter select. So you have to play the game for a third time. So by that point, I put in about 7 hours. And I was like,
yeah,
I don't particularly love any of this. So I would say that I Power Wash Simulator is a 5 out of 5 platinum shovels. I think Thank Goodness You're Here is a solid 3 out of 5 platinum shovels. It is totally fucking fine, but I would not go out of my way to play it.
Very fair.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. Now, Jake, Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Yeah, dude.
That's a newer game than Power Wash Simulator 2.
Yeah, just came out yesterday.
Yeah. I want you to tell me all about it because, okay, let me tell you. I'm like, do I bite the bullet and buy it? And I'm like, or do I like got a little bit of money on a PlayStation gift card? The holidays are coming up and I don't really want to be. Are you wearing a Yu Yu Hakusho shirt?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, brother. Dude, we are JakeDumpin. We are JakeDumpin. Dude, are you a Yu Yu Hakusho fan?
No. Oh, I just have the shirt. I'm so glad this is working out. This is like my dream. I was just telling somebody the other day about this, about how I got this random free shirt and it's Yu Yu Hakusho and I wear it out. It's like my favorite thing to wear out because people are always like, oh my God, I love your Yu Yu Hakusho thing. Are you, who's your favorite character? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I've never seen it. And they're like, really? Why do you have the shirt? And I'm like, I got it for free and it's dope as fuck.
Jake, I fucking hate you.
It's so good. I'm so sorry I got you, dude. That's my bad.
I thought we were gonna become better friends live on air.
I don't really watch anime. Yu
Yu Hakusho is one of the best anime of all time.
I hear good things. People say that, and they say the Hunter x Hunter as well, which has
that's
some
fair. That's a good follow.
Continuity or whatever.
Yeah. All right, fine. Enough.
Yeah, I know all about it because of the shirt.
I fucking hate this. Is so fucking stupid. Jake, if I were to spend $25 on a video game right now that is currently in my PlayStation wallet, would you tell me to put my $25 towards Marvel Cosmic Invasion and why?
You know, I'm glad that you're positioning it like that because I think that my answer is like maybe no. Maybe no, I wouldn't recommend that.
Whoa.
And here's the thing, is that I really like this game, but I like this game because I got it with my built-in fucking cost of Game Pass this month. You know,
right.
That goes a long way. You know, I played the game for about 2 hours by myself and then 2 hours with 3 other people. So I got the single player experience and the co-op experience, and I've made it to about halfway through the game solo and 75% through the game co-op, which means there's not a whole lot to do in this game other than go through the levels and punch the guys, you know?
Right.
And it's got cool mechanics. This is a 2D beat 'em up. A little side note. I was thinking, I really would like to thank the developers of this game. And the developers are a place called Tribute Games. Can you think of any good way to thank them?
A tribute?
A tribute?
A tribute?
Yeah, maybe a tribute. You're right. Wait, do you know what a tribute is in the wide world of the terrible internet?
No. Oh no.
Oh my God. And this could be an impromptu. I could make you read the definition of a tribute from Urban Dictionary so that you have to fucking understand what a tribute is. Here we go. I got the good stuff for you. It's coming right at you in Discord right now on the fucking fly. And you have to read.
I mean, this is
what a tribute is.
Par for the course. A tribute. It's the first time I've had to do this. Tribute. When you jack off and blow your load all over a picture of your crush / significant other. Dude, when I jack off, I like to do a tribute to Sally. She's so fucking hot, and imagining her drenched in my man cream is so delicious.
Correct. Now that is a tribute, and it's a very widespread thing. What you'll find on the internet these days is a lot of unsolicited tributes Men
Oh, you're
on
not
pictures,
saying.
coming on pictures of women and then sending them pictures of that cum
You're
covered
not. You're
picture.
not. I don't. Oh, I don't believe you. I don't
Yep.
believe you.
What a time to be
Jesus
alive. So
fucking
that's how I
Christ.
think I might. That's how I think I might perhaps pay tribute to Tribute Games. But .mu is the publisher. Tribute Games in their last project that they did before this was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Have you played that?
Yes, I very much enjoyed it. Like
Did
quite a
you?
bit.
If you really enjoyed Shredder's Revenge, then you're safe. Go for Marvel because this is like basically just built on the back of Shredder's Revenge. It's the same developers, same publishers. It is the follow up in everything but theme, basically.
Okay.
So maybe I would recommend it for you. You probably have a good time doing all those levels and getting all the secrets and stuff like that. If you were looking for some replayability, there's no like interactive map this time around. You kind of just go and select your path and then complete all of the levels. But there is some cool stuff to unlock and some replayability that I can see there. For me, doesn't really scream come back to me and play more. But
Right.
I do think that for what it is, it fucking hits the nail on the head. You know, there's kind of this like emergent old school beat 'em up revival that started with Streets of Rage 4, I feel like. And this carries on that legacy really well. And it's like Streets of Rage 4, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. I think Power Rangers Rita's Rewind from last year or the year before is a really good example. And now this one where they're all just banger 2D beat 'em ups. And if you're trying to play a 2D beat 'em up, it's going to be tough to do better than this year for sure.
I definitely think this is something I do want to. I'm going to end up picking this up sooner rather than later. Mainly because, and I've got Game Pass on my PC, but like I don't like being down here unless like I absolutely have to, and it's like recording or doing like certain games if I have to. I really feel like I fall back on the Steam Deck more than anything when playing PC, anything on the PC. Which is, you know, so, but with the games that I tend to play, I think that's kind of built in like that. Like dumpster dives are typically very good there. So I do think it's somewhat, and I mainly think so because like I am excited. I think over Christmas, Sid's family, my wife's family's coming into town.
Yep.
And I can definitely foresee like her dad and I like kicking back and doing this because like he's an old school gamer.
Yes,
So I do think, or just even Sid and I, like we played through and beat the entirety of Shredder's Revenge together. So like, you know, well, I mean, I like to hear that. I do think it's a nice value add to Game Pass to be able to get that day one too.
For sure. Yeah, it's a great Game Pass drop, especially with like the co-op emphasis too, where it's such an easy sell for your friends that have Game Pass to all hop on and do like co-op together. You know, if you're talking about $25, all of a sudden you have a $100 investment into this game to play co-op with your friends, as opposed to oh, we all have Game Pass this month. Let's fucking run through that shit.
No, I 100% agree there. I'm gonna go ahead and let's move on, Jake. I want to keep the show rolling, but before we do, I want to shout out a couple people. I want to shout out Sears Shard in the chat. We got Eula in the chat. We got Noah C92 in the chat. I even jumped in the chat at one point to call Jake a piece of shit because he's a fucking goose gobbler. That's what they, that's what they call him.
That's what they say.
So let's move on, Jake. I want to talk about a game I know that you're specifically and quite incredibly excited for.
Oh,
Metroid Prime 4. For those unaware, Metroid Prime 4 is I don't know what the equivalent to this game would be. The last game that came out was 7 years ago. The last main Metroid Prime game was 15 years ago. Cog's somewhere right now, like screaming into the abyss that
Dread was probably 2021 is my guess.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I don't
2021.
2021. Okay, so 4 years. When was the 7 years is a number that's important here. There was 7 years since something. Who fucking cares?
That sounds right.
The moral of the story is that Metroid and just like the Metroid series, I think in general, is a beloved series for Nintendo. I don't think I'd say a lot was riding on this game for Nintendo to like have a successful year. I think this is going to be a lot of people thought this is going to be the game that sells the Nintendo Switch 2, especially early on. Now you can get Metroid Prime 4 on the original Switch. That is available. That being said, all the reviews I read, they were all basing the reviews being based on playing on the Switch too. So just keep that in mind. Basically, the best I've heard, the big difference between the both variations of the game is that it's just a lower res and chugs a little bit more. So take that into consideration. Metroid Prime 4, massive hype. IGN's Logan Plant gives it an 8, saying it doesn't take psychic powers to see the ideal vision Metroid Prime 4 Beyond was aiming for. It tries to mix the excellent Prime formula with a character-focused story and a large hub world to explore. It doesn't quite reach that ambitious goal with an outdated open desert area that mostly feels like padding and a cast of characters that provide both a handful of memorable moments and too much chatter at times. But none of these issues come close to ruining Prime 4, which is still an excellent comeback thanks to incredible peaks that are almost entirely self-contained from its stumbles. It mostly knows when to leave Samus alone, and significant chunk of this 15-hour adventure spent in delightfully atmospheric solitude. It nails the essential elements of a Prime game that remain special decades later. Tense exploration through haunting locations highlighted by amazing world building, breathtaking art direction, new twist on classic abilities, and flawless technical performance. Even though a few underdeveloped elements keep it from feeling as cohesive as its predecessors, Prime 4 reaches heights worthy of a Metroid name. So, stopping there, this is just IGN's review. 8 out of 10. Were you expecting to see that score drop today?
Yeah, I think so. I think that I started to lose steam on my hype for Metroid the more that they showed Metroid, if that makes sense. Like, it seems fine, but the more that I realized, I tried to play Metroid Prime Remastered. I tried Metroid Prime back in the day. I played a little bit of Metroid Prime 3 as well. Never really clicked for me. As I was watching the ramp up here, I was like, this is the one that's going to click for me. I'm going to get into Metroid. And basically, what I've heard so far is that if you like Metroid Prime, then this is for you. And if you don't, then none of the new stuff here is going to work for you either. Only the stuff that makes Metroid Prime is going to work for you. So I don't think it's out there making many new fans over these next couple of weeks is my guess, which I think is going to be an eventual misstep, a blemish perhaps on the franchise more than it should be, a bright new entry here.
Right. No, and I'm there with you. From what I'm hearing, it's interesting, and I do think it's going to bring up a very valid point on how much people give grace to Nintendo just for being Nintendo. Like they're running an inferior piece of hardware. It's nowhere near as strong as the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series S, or I mean, at least the X. I don't even think it's close to the S for the most part. It doesn't hold a candle to what the Steam Deck can put out. And so I'm struggling here because I'm like, a lot of what people are like giving credence to the game for things like the game's so beautiful graphically. It's one of the most and it's just like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is ho-hum nonsense. Like, I don't feel like stylistically it looks very good. Like, I feel like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom had an interesting art style that worked for it. I think Donkey Kong Bonanza has an interesting art style that works for it. I'm not seeing that. Now, keep in mind, I don't have hands-on time with it, so I can't necessarily say. But I am watching trailers and things that are coming through in 4K on a QLED TV. Like, I should be able to get an experience that at least gives me some hint into it. Oscar Taylor Kent from Games Radar gives the game a 3 out of 5. This is one of the lower scores I saw. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is finally here after an 18-year wait. At its best moments, it feels like no time has passed at all, as I'm awed by the melancholy and mysterious vibes of this exploration-focused FPS. But at many other moments, it's bogged down by odd new features that detract from what's almost one of Samus's best. Being so close to greatness can sometimes be the bitterest feeling of all. I'm like, it just feels like a lot of these reviews are like, we're giving Nintendo grace in areas, but also like, it's just I don't want to say swing and a miss. Like, this is not a bad, like 3 out of 5 is not a great score, but like 8 out of 10 is not a bad score.
Sure.
You know?
That's a 6 out of
It's
10.
not a bad score. But then the question becomes is like, I mean, like, do you think we're going to be like hypercritical of a game like this?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
How
interesting
hypercritical?
because
You
I
know,
feel like there is like a Nintendo asterisk with everything that they put out, without a doubt. The question is like, how is it impacted? Because I feel like at some point Nintendo is willing to push a game out with one of their big franchise characters, regardless of how the development went or how the end product comes out. And we see it with
right.
Kirby a lot. And I feel like perhaps we see that with Metroid more often than we really think. Because when I think about Kirby, I think about all of these like shitty little games that Kirby is pushed into all the time. And obviously, Kirby has high highs, and it has, its Forgotten Lands, and it's got its Superstar Ultras, and it's got its Robobots and stuff, but it also has
Right.
all of these fucking, truth be told, pretty miserable games as well. However, now when I look at fucking Metroid, I start to see more Kirby than I do like Mario in its release cadence.
Yeah.
I start thinking about like Metroid Prime Pinball and Metroid Prime Hunters and Metroid Prime Other M and Metroid Prime fucking
So
Federation Force. And like,
here we go. I'll give you where this lands. So of the releases, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is currently sitting in an 81 on Metacritic. The closest game to it is Metroid Prime Pinball with a 79. Prime Hunters is in an 85, and that's higher. And I remember that game getting like panned by the audience.
I mean, that's like a first person shooter that you play with your fucking stylus and your
Right.
left hand. Like that is, I can't imagine that's a good gameplay fucking experience. But
I'll tell you what's wild about this. Obviously, Federation Force is dog shit, 64. Metroid Samus Returns even has a higher score, which like
Metroid Samus
that's
Returns is kind of a banger though, isn't it? Is that
you think
I think that's the Mercury Steam remake of. Is that Samus Returns? Let me double check. Yeah, it is. That's the 3DS Mercury Steam remake of Metroid 2. And it's kind of a banger, but it's one of those ones that like it's a banger the same way that Metroid Zero Mission is a banger. Where like, yeah, it's a banger because it's a remake of a previous Metroid,
Right. I mean, I'm there with you in terms of like the actual like the mainline series, so the Prime series. So Metroid Prime 97, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes 92, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption 90. Then we drop all the way to an 81. And the truth is, this is still not all major outlets have dropped their reviews, or like not all outlets have dropped their reviews. There's a chance this game could drop to a sub 80. And at that point, then you got a second, you're like, it definitely feels like some of those rumors behind the scenes were maybe a little accurate, that there was some trouble in development. And look, ultimately, I think the bigger question here, and I'm curious your thoughts on this, Jake, does it matter?
Yeah.
If you're a Metroid fan, you play in this game and they tell you this, hey, if you want a Metroid game, this is a Metroid game. It does not reinvent the wheel. It does absolutely nothing different. You're gonna get some stuff you don't like in it, but that's just a normal Metroid game at this point. Like, are you turned off by, like, do you end up, I know you're not a Metroid fan, but like,
no, I'm
I
not a
wish
huge
Cog
Metroid
was here to
fan.
ask him that question.
But I think what happens is like you do have to look at it from like an interesting standpoint of, if you look at the release cadence of these games and this long ass gap in between Metroid Prime 3 and Metroid Prime 4. We've had other traditional Metroids, we have Metroid Prince spin-offs since then. But for mainline Metroid Prime releases, we're seeing something that for the most part is kind of like unprecedented for Nintendo. I can't think of other things outside of like Xenoblade and Splatoon and these more modern series that just kind of get these like numerical entries like time and time again. It's like we haven't gotten Super Mario Brothers 4. Even things that you would really like compare things to, like Zelda. If you look at what Metroid Prime came out alongside Luigi's Mansion and Mario Sunshine. Metroid Prime 3, its last entry, came out on Wii, so alongside Twilight Princess and like Skyward Sword, and then look at what's happened since then for other games in the Zelda franchise. I'm talking about a fucking massive reinvention of the wheel and a leaving the past fucking behind when it comes to 3D Zeldas. We've got Breath of the Wild, we got Tears of the Kingdom, and for what Metroid Prime stands for in its own right, it's kind of become like a parody of itself. Metroid Prime was a reinvention of the wheel. That's why it was so fucking popular, is because they brought Metroidvanias to 3D very successfully. And they had a franchise that was initially a 2D side scroller became a flawless execution of how to translate one thing to the other. And then instead of reinventing the wheel again and progressing and doing something new and novel, they've decided to retread ground and put out what seems to be a somewhat lazy fourth entry when they should have tried to I think push things further and gone outside of what they normally do with the Metroid series once again.
No, I honestly, I think that's a great landing point. I think that Nintendo's audience, I think, is starting to turn, and I think they're turning per property. I think it started with people being like, we're getting a little sick and tired of you guys giving us some nonsense with Pokemon. And getting shitty about that. And then it was like, okay, we appreciate some of the games you are releasing, like, Yoshi's Woolly World, but like, what the fuck? We want Mario. Give us fucking Mario. And and then, it seems like they're starting to turn a little bit on Metroid, to being like, Dread did well. I think it was even nominated for a Game Award for Game of the Year. But like, I think fans are now starting to, where before we would just accept whatever Nintendo threw at us. And I think fans are starting to turn on that and saying like, no, like, we know that you're capable of giving us incredible games from you. We've seen Tears of the Kingdom. We've seen Mario Odyssey. We've seen these types of games. Like, we know that you can do it. You know that you guys can lock down your developers. So like, don't fuck with us by giving us something that we may have like let this go. That being said, Noah does make a good comment in chat. Breaking news: Mario Kart World updated this evening. There is now a volume slider 7 months after launch. So that's true. That's another great one of people being like, "Hey, Mario Kart World, not fantastic, guys." I think people are getting a little tired of Uncle Steve Nintendo.
I am inclined to agree. I think that some people, there seems to be a new thing to like shake our fucking fists at every time we turn a corner, whether it's like Pokemon DLC or quality of that game. Now we have Metroid, we have ho-hum reception for Kirby Air Riders and Mario Kart. People asking where is Mario on their flagship system? Why did we get Donkey Kong? I'm happy with Donkey Kong. There are some people that aren't. So I don't know. Maybe we're ushering in a new era. And what we say this, of course, amidst what is unequivocally and like numerically with concrete evidence the best console launch of all time. The Switch 2 is massively successful, so maybe we should fuck
interesting. I didn't add it to the news cycle because it was kind of like but actually for the month of September, I believe, or the month of October, the PlayStation 5 outsold the Switch 2. Yeah. Which was like unheard of. That happened. And there's a lot. I have a lot of questions about that.
I wonder if it's that fucking subsidized console in Japan, because Sony is getting fucking dominated by Nintendo in Japan right now, where like they are having their worst console generation by far there, and that is why they announced that console that is like nearly like $100 US cheaper than it is anywhere else in the territory, and is locked to Japanese language only to try to gain some market share back there. And I wonder if that's working. Put a dent in Nintendo by having that cheaper console over there.
I mean, I look good on them. I think competition's great when it's like that, and that should hopefully, I would say that should hopefully push Nintendo to make sure that they're putting out and they're listening to their fans. But let's be honest, we've been watching fucking Phil Spencer getting slapped in the face with that hard truth for the last several years and has not budged from his stance. Speaking of people who also wear fancy shoes, Geoff Keighley's got a freaky statue. And I want to talk about it. Jake, I want to talk about it. Geoff's freaky statue. Okay, so this comes from Eurogamer. Eurogamer's Victoria Phillips Kennedy. The Game Awards' Geoff Keighley teases announcement by placing a whopping demon-covered statue in the desert. Over the weekend, the Game Awards organizer Geoff Keighley set social media tongues wagging with 3 words: regal, inspiring, thickness. No, despite what I first thought, these are not the 3 words he used to describe himself on his Tinder profile. Rather, they link to a location via a what 3 words address, and the location leads to a spot near Joshua Tree, California. As you can see in the image I took this morning from the what 3 words app, regal, inspiring, thickness is a rather barren looking area in California. Here's the thing. There was an image that she posted in her article. I didn't. If you're watching live, you can see a sliver of what this behemoth looks like. There's better pictures. I highly recommend going and looking at it. But if you're listening audio, just pull over the car, go look at it. It looks like a giant weathered vagina covered in demons and shit.
I do see that, yeah.
Yeah, obelisk-gussy is what we like to call it in the industry.
Right.
She continues, well, at least it may have once been, but others have since ventured forth to the spot and discovered a large and rather imposing statue, now standing proudly in a field in the Mojave E corner of 29 Palms Highway and Yucca Mesa Road. The statue itself shows a group of demonic creatures all surrounding a hellish-looking portal-type design. This portal area lights up at night, as you can see via the second image below, which we don't have. With a fiery and quite ominous glow. The rumor mill is ablaze, Jake.
Yeah.
And they want people are all clamoring. What is it? What can it be? Jake, what is it and what can it be? And more importantly, can we fuck it?
I'm looking at this. Let me take one more little peek here. That I see a crease. I see some creases, in fact.
There's definitely a door. Something's going to come out of it.
Me, maybe. No, I'll stay in. I think my mind goes to Diablo, right? Does yours?
That's what I would normally. I want to say, and I could be wrong here. Someone from the games industry was like, "Hey, I know what it is. I'm not going to say anything. It's not Diablo."
That's what I'd say if I knew it was Diablo 2 and I wasn't supposed to say anything. We have a shitty industry where people are like forced to lie all the time because there's embargoes and there's fucking bullshit going on. And it sucks that like if you're trying to shadow drop something or have a surprise, it is so public and there's so many platforms that you just have to straight up be a liar. So when people say it's not this or it's not this, I never believe them because it could just be this. But
right.
My impulse, I look at it and it screams Diablo to me.
I mean, I'm right there with you. I have a better theory though. One of the theories that's been circulating has been God of War, which Cory Barlog, famous reinventor of God of War, with God of War 2018, which will Game Award winner God of War in 2018.
Deserved.
Cory Barlog came out and said, "Nope, not us. Not related to God of War. I would love for it to be related to it, but we don't have anything to talk about for that." I think it's going to be a big DLC announcement for Baldur's Gate 3. Like a legitimate actual expansion that will give you, that's going to be like a blood and wine, like a Witcher 3 Blood and Wine, also Game Award winning Witcher 3, like level size expansion where you're going to get an entirely new like map or new act or something massive. There's a lot of the iconography, I feel like, along what the statue looks like, I feel like lends credence to a Baldur's Gate 3 something. Maybe we're getting a fucking Dark Alliance remaster. Can you imagine that?
Maybe Dark Alliance 3. I think there is wasn't there like a weird Dark Alliance 3 that was put out, but it didn't have the Baldur's Gate subtitle a while back? I think there's something weird with that.
Let's find out.
But yeah, the chat has some good ideas too. Some people are thinking Saros, God of War, and Diablo are listed here. Divinity Original Sin 3 from Noah is inspired as well, and that's from the creators of Baldur's Gate 3, so that could be right in line there.
No Dark Alliance 3. No Dark Alliance 3.
Well, Drat. There's some like 3D beat 'em up, maybe not Champions of Norath, but something like that got some kind of expansion. It was really bad. But yeah, I think my money is on Diablo. You know what? here's what it's gonna end up being, bro. Is it's gonna end up being a fucking like mobile gacha game from Hoyoverse that we've never heard of before. And it's gonna be the fucking biggest thing in the world in 2 years, but we'll not have cared about it because the trailer is not gonna look that good at the Game Awards.
It's here's my theory. You ready, Jake? This is Peter Molyneux's Satan's Pussy, where
Ooh.
you start at insemination, you get birthed, and you have to live an entire life from the ripe old age of 0 to becoming the Antichrist.
Right.
Trees grow in real time too. The game never ends. The game never ends. Peter
It's
Molyneux will
perfect.
come to your house. He'll come to your house and tell you how to play the game in real time. I don't know. There's a lot of speculation here. I think Saros is one that I think is popping up a lot for people. I'm not settled on that, to be honest with you. And the reason being is I think we just saw gameplay way too soon. Like they just gameplay. So like it doesn't make sense like 2 months down the road for them to be like, oh, we're doing another. I mean, that being said, Sony did spend ample amounts of time wasting all of our energy on Deathloop trailers. So there's always a chance. There's always a chance, but I don't know. Not loving it. Jake, any final thoughts before we move on to the reason that everyone is here?
No. I just thought I'd fuck it. I would.
Wait, you want to talk? Or are you ready to dive?
No, just that I would fuck it. I would fuck that.
Oh, you would fuck it. Okay.
Right.
Good. Silk Song DLC. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, Jesus. All right. So the topic of the show, and it was something we wanted to go through. We wanted to see, we were talking off air. We were like, we want to know how accurate the Game Awards really are compared to public opinion. So what is public opinion exactly? Well, last year, we came together and we polled our audience and we asked them, what is your top 10 games of all time? We took all of these numerous lists with all of these games. We pulled them all together and created a definitive, scientifically accurate top 100 games of all time. Well, today we also have one great guesser, the JakeTwitchin. This man has impeccable guessing abilities.
Correct.
And he has done some magical things. And so we've brought you along, going to go through the list. Now, the Game Awards started in 2014. So we're going to go through all winners of the Game of the Year award, dating back to its inception and landing on the most recent game in 2024. And I'm going to see and ask you where you think this game landed with our audience's top 100 games. We will be starting with the year 2014 on console, the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, Dragon Age Inquisition. On a scale of 1 to 100, with 1 being the greatest game of all time, where do you think our audience landed on Dragon Age Inquisition?
And it can be not on the list, right?
Correct.
I think this is on the list, though, because I know that Patrick himself is a freako for Dragon Age and like most BioWare stuff. So there's a good chance that this is probably on there based on, you guys attracting people that have similar tastes to you from time to time. But I don't think it's that high. I don't think it's that high up. I'm guessing that this game is like the 57th best game of all time, according to Spotlight Games viewers.
75th? That's what you think?
57th.
This game is actually on our snubbed but honorable mention list, which means this game fell within the range of games 101 to 120.
Wow.
I don't know exactly. I don't have it listed here what exactly it fell within that range, but it was an honorable mention. It just was snubbed, which is a shame to some people in the chat. The chat's saying people like the game. I like the game.
Yeah,
I like Dragon Age. I stand by the fact that I think Dragon Age is a good franchise.
Me too.
I don't even like any of the games. Well, don't worry. We'll have a
Veilguard.
couple more of those. I think Veilguard was a great game. I think people are way too fucking critical and needed to shut the fuck up about it. I didn't even think it was an overhyped scenario. I think Veilguard just people wanted to dislike it, and so people disliked it.
Yeah.
Moving on
my
to
first
the
time
year.
ever on this podcast was to talk about Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, I most likely would have been sick around that time.
I think so. I think it was like Patrick, me, and Jericho maybe, and I just met you motherfuckers.
It probably that feels right. I wouldn't have been back yet. I would have been just out of the hospital because that's just like one of the first big game I played again, like when I was like getting my feet wet again. Speaking of getting feet wet, we have Rabbit128 in the chat, a JakeTwitchin. Noah C29 reminds us once again that Veilguard was the first game with pronouns after Concord flopped, so everyone was looking to keep the hate train rolling. That's an accurate statement. Yeah,
real.
There's nothing to say there. Let's move on to the year 2015. We're getting closer with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Some say one of the greatest action RPGs of all time.
Yeah, people love The Witcher for some reason. I've played The Witcher. I like played The Witcher for 20 hours, got to like the third area, stopped wanting to get on my boat ever, and stopped playing one day. You know, one of those games where I didn't know that was the last time I was going to play it, but just one day I was like, I don't feel like booting that up ever again. I'm guessing people were fucking little CD Projekt Red freaks though. 35th.
This came in at rank 70, number 70 on the top 100 games of all time. I'm pretty sure this actually ended up lower than Bullet or higher on the or lower. It was a worse game according to science than Bulletstorm. It did have a bit of a campaign. I rallied the troops. I think Witcher 3 is a game that to me, it's one of those games where I feel like I play it and then I immediately am like, yeah, that was a nice 3 or 4 hours. I'll probably not pick this back up again, even though I think my original time playing it was about 50 hours. It was like every time I go to try to revisit it now, I can't seem to find the energy to do it. It just feels daunting because I think it's so big. Moving on, and Jake, I know this is a big one for you as someone who makes a living playing video games online. 2016 Game of the Year award winner, Overwatch.
Ooh. Overwatch didn't make the list.
Bingo, bingo, bongo, baby.
Let's fucking go.
Fuck that game.
Yeah.
According to our audience, Overwatch fucking sucks.
Yeah, but Overwatch 2 is our second best game of all time, right?
You'd be shocked to find out. I do believe it did. Okay. 2017. Now this is where things are going to start to get a little spicier. 2017, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
4. I think it came in fourth best game of all time.
JakeTwitchin guesses fourth best game of all time. And the audience says, JakeTwitchin is fucking correct.
Really?
The audience ranked Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild as the fourth best video game of all time.
Uncommon W from the Spotlight Games audience. Very good, very accurate.
What are your feelings on Breath of the Wild? I personally didn't like it.
I was in that game.
Okay, so what were your feelings on Tears of the Kingdom?
I have a weird thing about my top 20. My top 10 specifically is very prestigious in that I want like representation of games. So it's weird for me to find a spot on that top 10 for both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So while as like Breath of the Wild was historically my fourth or fifth favorite game of all time for the years that it was out, like 17 through 23 or whatever, I now give that spot to Tears of the Kingdom, and Breath of the Wild is sitting at like my 13th or 14th favorite game, even though I like it than some of the games that are a little bit higher up than it. So yeah, I'm a big Tears of the Kingdom guy, big Breath of the Wild guy. I love those games. I played both of those games this year. I was doing some Breath of the Wild like playthrough stuff at the beginning of the year, and then when the Switch 2 versions of things came out, I had some Tears of the Kingdom time in me as well to check out like that how it was running. And I just got my
Right.
Twitch recap today that tells you like your most attended streams and your most successful categories. In both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are in my top 5 best categories. I haven't streamed either of them for months.
Interesting. Okay, well,
Crazy.
Tears of the Kingdom, I that's how I was. I flip-flopped. Tears of the Kingdom I enjoyed quite a bit. Like I really, really enjoyed Tears of the Kingdom. I just Breath of the Wild, I don't know, it didn't click with me, but Tears of the Kingdom had that spice of like it definitely made me feel like I had more autonomy
Mm-hmm.
than Breath of the Wild did. And it was like I feel like Breath of the Wild was like we want to give that to you, but we can't figure out how to quite yet, but we're almost there. Here's what we have so far. Tears of the Kingdom was like, this is what we wanted to give you the first time. And I think ultimately that I really settled in
Yeah.
with Tears of the Kingdom over that. For the longest time, though, I did also want to call it Tears of the Kingdom because that
Tears.
just sounded so much cooler.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
much cooler. Tears of the Kingdom. Speaking of tears, I bet Kratos tears a lot of orifices in his
Oh
time.
yeah.
He's done in 2018. God of War, not remake, reimagining almost. I would say,
Reboot,
reinvention, reboot.
three goal reset. Sure.
It was. I mean, it carried over. It wasn't really reset. It was just being like, hey, we're making God of War modern again.
Yeah.
2018's God of War won Game of the Year. Now the question, Jake, did it win the audience's Game of the Year?
I'm guessing that this is like a high teen situation. So I'm going like
Okay.
13 for this.
It's
13.
we're coming in at 8.
Okay.
I'm with you there. I think I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I like it on the list. I'm not sure if I feel like our audience did the right thing, though scientifically proven they are correct in every facet. Um, just gonna go out here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there, Jake. I think someone needs to send a check on Noah. I'm pretty sure he's having a heart attack in chat. He's not liked any of these answers so far.
Of
It's
course.
almost like he's anti-science. And I know a few people who you can take that up with, buddy.
I am looking at my individual list of my top 100 games of all time, thinking about where I
Yeah.
would have put God of War. And I feel like I have it in a more decent spot. It is my 42nd favorite game of all time, which I think is lower than the general populace, but just high enough.
I think that's fine. I love God of War. To be honest with you, God of War 3, I rank God of War 3 higher.
I don't. I rank Ragnarok higher.
Really?
Uh-huh.
See, I thought Ragnarok was a bit inflated. It felt a little too stuffed.
Somewhat. I think more of a good thing is generally pretty good, especially if it's God of War. I had a really fun time in that game, and I think that it has more memorable writing and moments. God of War
That's
Ragnarok, I
probably
think,
fair.
is a fucking banger.
That's probably fair. I think for me personally, I think God of War 3, and the reason I stand by this is I think God of War 3 is the greatest hack and slash game of all time. If not the greatest, then it at least was the last good hack and slash game was God of
Yeah,
War
I can
3.
see that being the case. I
Um,
like that.
and so I love that. I love those. I love the new series too. I think they're both great for what it is, but it is what it is. In 2019, FromSoft is back in the mix. Holy shit. What are the odds that the obelisk is fucking Dark Souls 4?
I don't know, dude. FromSoft is too busy fucking running their existing popular IP into the fucking ground with Elden Ring.
Yeah, but Miyazaki's not working on Elden Ring or on Night Rain. He's working on
You're
something
right.
else entirely. So
Is
like,
he working on Duskbloods? Is that him?
ooh, that might be true. I forgot about that.
I think that's him. Is my guess.
Fuck it. Whatever. Either way, they're in the mix with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Did you ever play this game, Jake? You don't look like someone who would play this game. Meaning
No,
you
I
look like
look like
someone who may
somebody
have gotten
who's
laid once in their life.
right known the touch of a woman. Correct. No Sekiro for me. And I'm trying to think of where with the audience. I feel like it's going to be hit or miss. I think there's a chance that it made it, and it's just like there's a lot of people that put this game very high up in their top 100 games of all time. But I feel like there are going to be few and far between, but not none. I'm going to go 87 is my guess. I think it's the 87th best game of all time according to Spotlight.
That's pretty good. Our audience didn't like it, but there was at least someone in the audience who liked it enough for it to get on the honorable mention list.
Okay,
which once again is anywhere between 101 and 120. So we're in the mix, yeah. So it's there. We acknowledged it, but according to science, not very good.
Yep.
All right. Everyone in chat is going to be fucking up in arms when I say this next one.
Yeah, what's
specifically
the winner?
One person. The year 2020, the game releases The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, I feel like I know the answer to this, dude. Like,
according to science, what is the correct answer? What is that rate? Like, what is the rank in the top 100 games of all time? The Last of Us Part 2.
Here's my guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's first place because I feel like you sick twisted motherfuckers have been indoctrinating your audience for so long to get them so hyped up for this video game. That's fine. I'm guessing 1.
You were so close.
Fuck.
It came in at 3rd place.
Oh, fuck.
Here's the thing. I would say The Last of Us Part 2 is an easy top 20. Easy top 20. Maybe depending on where I'm sitting, as depressed as I am, it's a part 2, maybe in the top 10. The truth is, I've only played it one time. I've played part 1 so many times, but like it really is a struggle for me to play part 2 because it's just so fucking depressing.
I have only ever played it one time, and I only ever will play it one time.
I'll play it one more time, mainly just so that I can get the platinum, because the platinum's really easy. I just need to knock it off. I got part 1's platinum. I just need to get 2. And I'll do it eventually when I have like the time to sit down and actually put the effort in. But I do think, I don't know. I always felt like I love Patrick, and I'll actually go over some of these if I still have the list up. I'll cover like what the top 10 100 guest games we have. Because it is interesting. I do think that it's not going to shock people what the top 10 are. Actually, there may be a shock here in the top 10 at one point, but it's pretty funny nonetheless. So Last of Us Part 2 wins in 2020, gets a rank 3. 2021, my personal game of the year, and a game that I stand by as still being one of the best games that I think has come out. It Takes Two.
I think It Takes Two is on there. I think people like It Takes Two. I'm going to go right on the dot. I think it's the 50th.
50th. Unfortunately, you would be wrong. That game was snubbed by our audience.
Wow.
But it did make it on the honorable mention list.
Oh, okay. Not too bad.
Probably because of me. It was probably 1,000% because of me.
Wow.
Yeah, I stand by this. I love It Takes Two. I think It Takes Two is like, just in terms of like a co-op game, it's just one of the best co-op games.
Yeah, I agree.
You can play. It's just so good. Eula, thanks for sticking with us tonight. You've been an absolute champ. Go get some snoozers. Go get some sleepies. All right. Next up in 2022, my least favorite game ever made. Elden Ring.
Oh yeah.
Elden Ring.
Yeah. People are insane about Elden Ring, and they also, I bet this is high as fuck. I bet this is like number 10. I think this is the 10th best game according to Spotlight. According
to our audience, Elden Ring is the 14th greatest game of all time.
Yeah, I'm all over it.
Here's the thing. I fucking hate this game.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I fucking hate this game. But it's a really good game.
Yeah, I put 100 hours into that game. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I did too. Put 100 hours and got the platinum. Fucking hate that game. Want to give a quick shout out to Squinky Joinkers in the chat. Did I miss the kissing portion of the stream? We saved that for last. We saved that for last. We've done the double-sided dildo already, though. You did miss that.
We start we there down the tarp and everything just in case one of us squirted.
Right. I
mean, we did. Can you guess which one?
Speaking of squirting, Jake, In 2023, Baldur's Gate 3 beat out Alan Wake 2. I think that was the year that it beat out Alan Wake 2. Patrick got really upset. But how upset did our audience get when they were creating their top 100 games of all time?
Not that upset. I'm thinking they did pretty maybe 25.
25 is good. 25 is good. I do believe that in this particular instance, science was a bit biased with its with recency bias. It came in at a rank 7. Now, here's the thing I think with Baldur's Gate 3 is I definitely think there's a world in which 7 is actually correct in like 10 years. It's such a revolutionary and buck fucking wild game. When I first booted it up for the first like 5 hours, I was like, I made a terrible mistake. I hate this game. I genuinely do not like this game. There's nothing about this game that I like that is for me. This is not what I want to be playing right now. I do not like this. 75 hours later, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, what is this fucking game?
Not an uncommon take.
Yeah, and so I do think that in the future, I think that there is a world in which this does end at like at 7, and people are like, yeah, this feels good. We'd put it in the top 10 with something like Tears of the Kingdom, something like Super Mario World.
I am going to take my first foray into that game in the coming month. I believe by the end of the year. I'm hoping to grab it on a little sale and dig in.
If you ever want to do a co-op stream, hit me up. I would gladly bring my goofy ass character and join your party.
See, I do feel like that would be a way to make it more tolerable, but it is supposed to be a punishment for me as well. So I don't want to have too much fun.
Right. We don't want to let you have too much fun there. But speaking of having fun, rounding out last year's Game of the Year winner was Astrobot. Now, here's the thing. This top 100 list was actually created before the Game Awards were announced, and Astrobot, maybe even before Astronaut even came out. So there is no rank. I'm going to go ahead and cut you off there and just say we don't have a rank here.
Sure.
But if you were to have to build out a top 100, would you put Astrobot in your top 100 games of all time?
Now, this is going to be a sensitive subject because some people may say, no, this game doesn't deserve to be there. But, Cayman, I'm going to switch things up on you because I have my own list of the top 100 games of all time, according to JT. Now, I want you to guess where, if at all, do you think Astrobot ranks?
I think it's on your list. It's high, or it's low on the list. Like, I think you're in like this high 70s, maybe low 80s. I'm gonna go with like, I'm feeling 86.
86 is a good guess. It is my 6th favorite game of all time. I love Astrobot. What? I think Astrobot is quite possibly my favorite 3D platformer ever made. I think it is fucking perfect. And I love a game that loves video games. And this game loves other video games as much as it loves people that love video games. And it is made for me. I love that shit.
That's so crazy. I mean, to be fair, I don't necessarily disagree. Like, in terms of the way that I look at Astrobot in terms of 3D platformers, like it's one of the best, if not the best 3D platformer I think that's around right now. I was playing a Koa the kangaroo.
KO like the knockout.
Yeah, KO. I was playing KO the kangaroo, the where they made it for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox.
Right, as one does.
Right. And it was on sale. I was like, I'm just kind of feeling, I'm feeling a platformer.
You're talking to the right person.
Right. It was a fun game.
That's my kind of jam.
And I was just like, this is an Astrobot.
Oh, no.
Jake, did you platinum Astrobot?
Yeah. So fun story about my platinum journey, if you will. I've only platinumed like 4 or 5 games in my life. first game that I ever platinumed was 2021's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, where I had so much fun with that game that I was like, I want to squeeze more out of it. So I did every single thing that I could do in that game.
Right.
And then from there, I was like, oh, that was actually kind of fun. Like, what are other games that I love that I could do that in? And my second one ever was Astro's Playroom, because it's a nice, easy one to romp through. And I really loved that game as well. So when Astro Bot came out, I did a full playthrough of it and then immediately transitioned into playing all the way through the platinum, and I platinumed it on stream. And if you ever get the opportunity to see the final stream of Astrobot that I streamed in 2024, it is a legendary fucking moment, because the series of events that lead to me beating, because you planned it, I'm assuming, yeah, you're a boss. Yeah. That last challenge where you have to, the craziest fucking level, the gauntlet, the hardest one. When I finally completed that, it was like a 4-hour stream of me just bashing my head into a wall. And I said to myself, light spoilers for an unlock, late game unlock in Astrobot.
It's totally not worth it.
It's so worth it. I fucking was like, you know what's wrong? I got the wrong skin on. Somebody in chat said it must be the skin. So I went back all the way back home and I changed my skin. And I said, you know what I got to do? I got to believe. And I put on my Parappa the Rappa fucking outfit.
Okay, then it's the perfect. That's the perfect
and
final
then
skin.
I fucking played the fucking Parappa song, my favorite song from Parappa the Rap 1. You got to believe Parappa's rap. What you gonna do when you come? I listened to that and I fucking completed it in one try.
Ooh.
Mashed my way to the end, and then upon me, chop chop master onion. It was the most poetic and perfect thing that has ever transpired. It's a great 20 minutes of fucking video game.
I'll give you that. There is definitely, if that's the scenario that hits, then yeah, I'll give you that. I think I'll tell you right now, there's a lot. I've been watching these videos like a trend right now where people who do trophy hunts are going back and finding games they haven't 100%ed all the trophies on, and either clearing out like platinums or the DLCs or whatnot. And there's one game in my collection that I've like come to terms with that I'm one trophy away and will never get it. And it is another 3D platformer, and that is Sackboy's Big Adventure.
Oh yeah, it's got an equally shitty gauntlet, right?
It's called the fucking Hog something.
The Hoffenstanter or something like that. It's got a weird name.
My wife and I sat there trying to get that fucking trophy, like beat the gauntlet. So many hours were sunk into that final gauntlet. Just couldn't do it. There was just no fucking way. I just was not good enough to do it, and I had to like reconcile with that, which sucked. But I love that for you, and I'm glad it's 6. I don't know where it would end up on my list. I really need to sit down and see if I can compile 100 games for me. I feel like it's too hard. I'm too indecisive.
Yeah.
But with the Game Awards coming out what, next week? It's next Thursday.
Yeah, a week from Thursday. Correct. Yeah,
a week from this release, if you're listening on podcast services, the Game Awards will be live. Dido will be streaming. We'll be doing a special live streaming. I should be part of that episode as well. Doing a live stream of the Game Awards. We'll be live reacting and having a great time there. We'll probably end up shit hammered drunk. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to see what game gets added to that, to the Pantheon. I really hope we get a sleeper hit and we get like a sleeper takedown, and it's fucking Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I
think that would be the most interesting thing that could possibly happen that night.
It definitely would be. I definitely think it would set the world ablaze.
Yeah.
And I always stand by two different things. I always say that games that win the Game Awards either come in two fashions. They either perfect the genre that it lives in, or it creates an experience that's unlike anything you've seen before.
Sure.
And that really is, if you look back at the Game Awards. So if we look back over this list, and I'll do this right now. We'll go back over this. Dragon Age Inquisition was something that was very unique for the time. It's not anymore, but it was at the time. The Witcher 3 pretty much mastered what an open world action RPG was. Overwatch pretty much created hero shooters, right? Like, I mean, there may be something better, but like a better example before, but I really think that's
the pinnacle.
Right. Breath of the Wild, another earth shattering revelation. God of War took a friend. God of War is the weird one where it's like we took something that exists and then turned it into something drastically different.
Yeah.
We've got Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, which is another like incredibly unique game of its own right. Maybe probably the most non-unique, right? Was right. The Last of Us Part 2 just is the mastercraft of like a first person or a third person like story, narrative driven action adventure game. It Takes Two, something very fucking different. Elden Ring, very fucking different. Baldur's Gate, very fucking different. And then Astrobot is a game that just mastered what a 3D platformer is. So the question becomes, because I really think it boils down to, Expedition 33 is obviously the front runner.
Yeah, I think it's a that's my gripe with this shit this year, is that I really do think that Expedition 33 wins 10 to 11 of the 12 categories that it is fucking nominated for. Like, it's going to be so boring and uninteresting to watch this year.
But do you think we're going to have a moment, though, where it's like the Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania? You know, where it was like he was at an undefeated streak, and then at the very end, after he's retired 4 different times, they bring him back just to beat him so that you can have another, there's no undefeated streak ever here. Like,
no.
Or do you think they're going to be like, no? Or do you think, yeah, they're just going to
I
let
think
it
it goes
go?
all the way. Most dominant year. And I think it's why it's just fucking uneventful and boring this year.
I really hope Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I platinumed Expedition 33. I'm one of those weirdos who pulled that off.
How much Kingdom Come have you played?
I put in more time in Kingdom Come than Expedition 33.
Fuck yeah.
And I made way less progress in that game than I did in Expedition 33.
I don't know how to exactly define this, but like, I don't like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. You're telling me a Kingdom game this come? But I feel like I like people that like it. Like, it's a cool game to be into, you know?
It's a game that I would never recommend to a single person to play.
Right.
But like, for those weirdos who take a chance on it, you will find a game like you've never seen before. It's way less janky than the first game and way more put together. And like, if you can figure out a way to get around the combat, and there are ways that you can just be sneaky, just become a sneaky boy. But like, even then, like having to make sure you clean yourself before you become sneaky, or people be like, "Well, that someone smells like dog shit. Someone smells like dog shit around here. Who's out in the bushes always smelling like dog shit?" And then you're like, "Well, I'm fucking busted because I stepped in shit." Like, that's a thing you have to be aware of in Kingdom Come.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Something. So, and that's one of those things where I'm like, it's one of those games. I love watching people play it. Yep. Because I feel like even to this day that like there's still parts of that game that people do not like. People don't know there's still chunks of that game that haven't been discovered yet.
Sure.
And like Expedition 33 is an incredible game and I love it. I think it's a great game and I won't be upset if it wins. But I do think that like if I'm looking at it, I kind of am leaning like Kingdom Come is a game that I'm like, I would love to see it win. I would love to see it win. But
Kingdom,
yeah.
I had to think that Expedition 33 is like the best missionary sex you've ever had. But sometimes you just kind of want to do it freaky style, you know, with like a KCD too.
Right. Right. Speaking of doing more than missionary style, why don't we do, because Patrick never does this. I'm the only one that ever does this on shows. Why don't we do just a quick roundup for the end of the year for December's game releases? So these are all the games that are going to be dropping today. Time of recording is December 2nd. So there's one singular video game that has already dropped that we've already covered on the show. And that is on December 1st, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, and is out right now. Today, Assassin's Creed Shadows 2 drops from the Nintendo Switch. Sleep Awake, never heard of that. It's coming out for PC, Series X, and PlayStation 5. On tomorrow, on December 3rd, Let It Die Inferno for PC and the PlayStation 5. On December 4th, we have Blood Refresh Supply, Elden Ring Night Rain DLC, Football Manager 26, Metroid Prime 4, Octopath Traveler 0, Routine, Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Those are all Nintendo 4. That was a lot of games. Anything there stand out to you outside of Sonic Racing Crossworlds for Nintendo Switch?
No, not really. I mean, Elden Ring Night Rain, I guess, is the one that's going to make a splash there out of everything that you just mentioned. But for me, I've got my Night Rain is technically still on like my top 20 games of the year. I had a good time the 7 times that I played that, 3 solo on stream and like 4 with people on stream. I don't need that in my life anymore, but it was fine.
I'm interested in what Blood Refresh Supply is. I feel like it has to be a fucking real-time strategy game. I have Octopath Traveler 0 on my fantasy critic, but at this point, I'm pretty sure I've like officially lost. Bloodlines Masquerade 2 fucked me. And I think I lost points actually on that one, so I got knocked out of the racing. But I have high hopes for Octopath Traveler 0. I think the base building in that game is gonna do well. I think that's gonna get people.
Yeah, I usually get a code for those games, but I think the last time I got a code was Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D, and then the next day there were massive Square Enix layoffs, and now I haven't heard from my guy over there since then.
No. So you might want to reach out, do a poll. Do you need to go do a temp check or go do
a wellness check?
Wellness check on your homeboy.
Hey.
Yeah.
Anyway, how about that Octopath series? It's pretty good, huh?
Speaking of things that are deadly, and things that probably also relate to terrorism, Microsoft Flight Simulator 24 drops on PlayStation 5 December 8th, alongside Skate Story and Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. Were you ever into Yakuza? Have we ever talked about this?
No, I want to be into Yakuza, and I've tried a couple times. I feel like I've played Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, and Yakuza Like a Dragon, so 7, for like 2 hours each, and they didn't immediately click with me, and I fell off of each one of them. But because I love 7 Remake and Rebirth so much, and they say that a lot of like the walking around, fucking around minigame stuff is very Yakuza inspired. So it does sound like it might scratch an itch that I have from time to time, but I don't know.
So one thing I'll say, and this is like the hardest thing for people like us, it's like just time is limited at this point. What I would say is with Yakuza, you have to let the game make it for 5 hours.
Right.
You just got to make it 5 hours in the game. It sucks to say that because I'm like, I don't want to wait 5 hours. And so, but I will say I highly recommend just doing like a watch through of like, the highs are gonna hit higher for Infinite Wealth if you know the story of Like a Dragon.
For sure.
Infinite Wealth, I feel like, is a much quicker entry into the action, and that game fucking rips. Infinite Wealth was it was 120 hours to get the platinum on that, and it was worth every fucking minute.
I just have gripes, man. Like I thought that we were cool. I thought that we had decided that Yakuza was going to have a nice new clean entry point, and that if you had never played a Yakuza game before, then it's a great time to get in with Like a Dragon because you have a brand new protagonist. None of this shit matters. And they just like walked that back completely for 8, and they were like, by the way, it stars Kiryu, the guy from the last fucking 10 games.
No, I disagree. Highly disagree.
What's the move?
Highly disagree. So in 7, you fall in love with Kasuga. You play the bulk of the game playing as Kasuga. By the time you get to the point in the game where you switch over and get to play as Kiryu, at that point, they have done basically a greatest hits of his life up to that point. So you get like a montage reel. So by the time you get
Kasuga?
there,
I thought Ichiban.
That Ichiban Kasuga.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, last names go first.
Right.
You're not part of the culture.
Sure.
It's not part of the culture. Either way, play Infinite Wealth. It's a wonderful game. On December 9th, we get Farming Simulator Signature Edition on the Nintendo Switch 2. I know what Kayla will be up to. On December 11th, we have Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader from the Nintendo Switch 2, which I know what Rabbit128 will be up to. On December 12th, this is where things get fun. December 12th, Code Violet and Terminator 2D No Fate.
Yeah, dude.
So
Terminator
one
2D
is
No Fate's on my fucking fantasy league.
Is it okay? I think that game's gonna fucking rip. I think
Me
that thing
too.
is going to fucking rip.
Yeah.
Code Violet, I'm very interested in seeing how that's gonna review. If I'm not mistaken, it's the loose sequel to Code Vein, but it's not. You're playing as like defined characters in this, and I think they may be leaning a little less away from the Souls likeness of it all. So I
Code
am
Violet is
interested.
part of Code Vein.
I believe so. I believe so. Let me double check this real
And then there's a
fast.
Code Vein 2 that's coming out really soon too.
I thought no. I take that back. That's not
Okay.
accurate. What is Code Violet? Oh my god, Cayman, how did I get this? I fucking do a podcast.
Because Code Vein 2 is confirmed.
Oh,
I think it's like early next year.
I just went to the PlayStation Store to look at this thing, and the page doesn't exist anymore. So part of me wonders if it even exists anymore. What is Code Violet? May be a trap. Okay. So, okay, yeah. I now remember. It's the game that's supposed to be like the Dino Crisis.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like the modern day Dino Crisis, essentially. That could be a trap. Very well could be a trap. That's fair. I don't know. There's jiggle physics. We'll find out. December 16th, The Rogue Prince of Persia for Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. December 18th, Olympia Soiree Catharsis on Nintendo Switch 2. And then this is the last game as of this point in time. Now, this can change at the Game Awards because we have seen stealth launches and releases take place. So as of this point in time of me reading this, the last release of this year, 2025, Layers of Fear, the final Masterpiece Edition on the Nintendo Switch 2.
Wow.
So that's that. That's allegedly what's going to be happening this year to end out. I'm excited. It was a good year. Well, I don't know if it was a good year. It was a fine year. It was a fine year. We've had better years. I think we can say that much.
Sure.
Jake, thanks for being here with us. Thanks for being here with me today. Please, all of you at home who were with us tonight, thank you for joining us. If you're not already part of the Discord, go to dropindropout.com. Go and join the Discord and hang out with us there. It's been popping off lately, and the community is thriving in a way that I don't think many of us were expecting. Jake, is there any final thoughts or any passing words you'd like to give the audience before we disembark?
No, it might be my last spotlight for the year. You know, I have my little guest residency and whatnot. So thanks for having me today and all the other days that you guys have me. A little fucking home away from home podcast. I love a Spotlight Games episode, man. I always say I like doing Spotlight Games more than I like doing drop in, drop out.
Why is it? Because you get JakeDumpin over here. They won't let us get on the main channel. They won't let us on the main channel together. Jake, if you want to go ahead and slam that goodbye button, and we're gonna wave and tell everyone at home to go have a wonderful evening. We will see you next week. And bye bye.